The fourth ingredient is imagination, the activity of the mind that makes possible the creation of new ideas. Without imagination, nothing new would ever be created. It too must be controlled and directed. It is usually most productive when activated by a specific aim or issue. The fifth factor is motive. You are familiar with the 10 basic motives previously discussed. No sane person does anything without a motive. There has to be a reason back of every act. The sixth factor is personal initiative backed by intense action. You will never be a genius unless you get into the habit of doing what should be done without waiting for someone to tell you to do it. Personal initiative is the self-starter, and it must be kept in perfect shape for instant use. Another way of defining personal initiative might be the ability to see things as they are and to do things as they should be done. The seventh factor is the habit of going the extra mile. You will never be a genius unless you make it a habit to do more and better than you are paid to do every single day of your life. The eighth factor is forming a mastermind alliance with other people. The number in the alliance depends on what you want to accomplish. For your goal in life, you may not require more than a dozen or a half dozen, maybe only one. But if you are going to be a genius, you will have to learn to use other people's brain power. The ninth factor, and the last, is perhaps the most important of all. You may have guessed it. It is positive mental attitude. You will certainly never rank as a genius until you can positivize your mind and keep it that way at will. Without a positive mental attitude, none of the other ingredients of genius will be available to you. These are the factors which go into genius. Many of these factors you undoubtedly already have. You will now be able to take inventory of yourself and learn which are missing. You will find that this course will tell you how to acquire or develop the missing ones. Before leaving this section, it is worth reminding ourselves that thought, backed by faith, will give precedence to a specific objective over all others in the matter of the definiteness and speed with which it is handed over to the subconscious mind and acted upon. Faith plays the role of an accelerator, which can speed up the reaction between the conscious and subconscious mind. It is a known fact that the people who are capable of freeing their minds from all self-imposed limitations generally find a solution to all their problems, regardless of their nature. Such a person does not know what is impossible and what is not, so they go ahead and do it. Do what needs to be done. Fifth big idea. The power of thought is the only thing over which any human being has complete, unquestionable control. Man is the only creature on earth with the power of self-determination, the right to choose what his thoughts and actions will be. Animals of a lower order are governed by 6 inherent habits and instinct, and do not possess the power to understand situations except in the simplest acts of existence, such as detecting the presence of food by its smell, or finding a way out of a maze by bumping their heads against a wall until an opening is found. The distinguishing characteristic of the human species is its ability to think. Man possesses one thing over which he has the inherent, absolute right of control, and that is his mental attitude. The very idea of man's having absolute control over his thoughts is tremendous. It shows unmistakably a close relationship between the mind of man and infinite intelligence. The implications of this simple statement of fact are awe-inspiring. Management of the mind is the key to both the power of our own subconscious mind and the power of infinite intelligence. In a final analysis, it means that any plan or purpose which man can conceive in his conscious mind, he can fulfill, either to his benefit, edification, improvement, and joy, or to his misery, degradation, and ultimate destruction. Remember that the subconscious mind does not change your plan. It responds instinctively to whatever suggestion is given to it in an emotionalized state. It will not challenge or alter or modify your plans and purposes, be they good or evil. Hence, a word of caution, the selection of your definite goal in life. Choose and plan only for such a goal as will be constructive and express an ultimate good. Never aspire to cheat your neighbor or go contrary to any of the other fundamentals of sound ethics or the laws of nature. The conscious mind is the guardian of the garden spot of the subconscious mind. Neither negative nor positive thoughts can enter the subconscious mind without full consent of the conscious mind, except thoughts out of the blue, received through the sixth sense. All sense impressions received through the five senses are stopped at the gate by the conscious, thinking mind for inspection and acceptance or rejection. The conscious mind is therefore a sentry posted to guard the approach to the precious subconscious. Weeds will grow in abundance in the fertile garden spot of the subconscious if the seeds of preferred crops are not sown. Through self-suggestion, you can voluntarily feed your subconscious mind on thoughts of a creative nature, or by neglect, permit thoughts of a destructive nature to find their way into this rich garden. Definiteness of purpose will keep your mind clear of the things you don't want and keep it so busy working on the things you do want that will have no time to grow weeds that are undesirable. Judging from the products many people are harvesting, their minds must resemble neglected victory gardens. Here are a few of the highlights of the story of Vash Young. He started out life in humble circumstances. He tried this occupation and that, finally getting into the business of selling life insurance. But he didn't do so well at it. When things got so bad that he was thinking of committing suicide, he had an idea. It dawned on him one day when he was in a self-examining mood that his mind was like a factory, and he took a look at the product coming out of this factory. He found he was producing fear, impatience, anger, and doubt. No wonder people would not buy from him. Would you? Then he carried his thinking a step further. He came to the realization that he was chairman of the board, director of the factory, the principal stockholder, the chief engineer, the works manager, and so on down the line. Yes, even to being the janitor. And it was in this capacity that he was probably more neglectful than in any of the others. He had let a lot of rubbish accumulate and find its way into the final product. Armed with this startling information, he decided to bring out a new line of merchandise. He retooled his factory, so to speak, and started churning out such products as love, courage, cheerfulness, activity, compassion, friendliness, generosity, tolerance, and justice. 9 magic products, all positive, all dominant, and what is more important, all products that other people like and want and for which they will pay. Needless to say, his new line was a tremendous success. Truly, the man who takes possession of his own mind has at his command a power that will help achieve any purpose. This is a fine world for a man who knows precisely what he wants in life and is busy getting it. Sixth big idea. The subconscious mind appears to be the only doorway of individual approach to infinite intelligence, and is capable of being influenced by the individual. The avenue of approach is faith, based on definiteness of purpose. There is an accumulation of evidence to support the belief that the subconscious mind is the doorway to the infinite intelligence. Apparently, it is the interpreter of the desires of our conscious mind to this vast medium of infinite power, and, conversely, it reflects the responses of infinite intelligence to our conscious minds in the form of conscious flashes, intuition, revelation, or whatever you choose to call it. To prove this point, let us mention several famous men of achievement who put their subconscious minds to work by planting their problems in them during the day and reaping a harvest while they slept or just after waking in the morning. Notable among these men is Mr. Robert Letourneau, known everywhere as the Heaven and Earth Man, because he is concurrently occupied in manufacturing heavy-duty earth-moving machinery and in preaching the gospel. His hobby is flying around the country preaching religion. He has a secret of putting his subconscious mind to work so that he may reap a reward by actually having his problem solved for him while he sleeps. One evening, cruising along shortly after he boarded his plane, Mr. Letourneau stretched out on a sofa which had been installed for that purpose and dozed off. He had not slept more than perhaps 20 minutes when he raised up one arm, took out a small notebook and pencil from his inside coat pocket, and made some notations. Upon completing the note, he returned the notebook and slept on. Twice during the flight, at intervals of approximately 20 or 30 minutes, he repeated the same performance. He failed to awaken completely while he was making his notes, when asked about it, denied any such action. But when he was told to take a look at the notebook, he consciously remembered that here was the answer to the problem he had been trying to solve for some time. He explained that his company had encountered a knotty problem in building a special machine, and none of the engineers had been able to solve it, so he had taken over the problem personally. He had concentrated his conscious mind upon all the known factors and turned them over to his subconscious. The subconscious mind, either from its own reserves of information or from the infinite intelligence, supplied the missing factors and handed over the answers while he was still asleep. Mr. Letourneau admits the fact that he takes God in as his partner, and that his success dates from the forming of this spiritual alliance. We can have our opinions about this, but we cannot deny his positive results, and this is how he achieves them. This completes this video. If you would like to purchase the ebook on Amazon, please click on the link at the top of the description below.